Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. The Stanley Cup playoffs are upon us, which means it is time for my annual playoff sim on the most recent edition of the EA NHL franchise. Now, a couple of things to mention before we get going. First and foremost, if you want to know my thoughts on who I think is going to win, I published a video yesterday that you can check out. Do I go a little bit homerish for the record-setting Boston Bruins? Maybe I do. Maybe I don't. There's only one way to find out. The other thing to note is that in terms of how we have set this up with the lines, as of Sunday morning, I have gone with what is listed on capfriendly.com in terms of what the line combinations are. And of course, we are using my custom rosters here as well. And, you know, again, this is all for fun. At the end of the day, it's not to be taken all that seriously. So if you disagree with ratings, if you disagree with who's scratched, who isn't, hey, it's all well and good. At the end of the day, it's a video game that, hey, if you play this, we all know is weird. So yeah, it'll probably sim a little bit weirdly as well. But that said, I'm still intrigued to kind of see how this plays out, so long as it keeps the injuries in there. To be honest, it might not. It might do a weird EA thing. It would be a shame for, say, Carolina to end up with Andrei Svechnikov in their lineup one more time, given, of course, that he's out for the season. That's a gigantic loss for them. Of course, Colorado, they've been without their captain all season long and will be yet again in the playoffs. And it makes for such an interesting final 16 in terms of just how this is going to play out, what different combinations are there, because there are teams that could go with a variety of different combinations. Then, of course, there's the two-headed beast of McDavid and Draisaitl, which I'm very, very intrigued. And then that defense for the Edmonton Oilers is it's a little bit interesting. It's a little bit interesting, even if they get, Ryan Murray, I think, is out for the year again, but even if they get Philip Broberg in there, again, a little bit surprising they didn't add anything at the deadline. The Florida Panthers, who, I kind of mentioned in that video from yesterday, they nearly shot themselves in the foot and went and missed the playoffs. This is the big intriguing factor here. Again, a 3-year rating scale for Alex Lyon. He might end up with a higher overall in my next roster update here, but my goodness, how that has worked out for them, I have no idea whatsoever. The LA Kings are also an interesting one on Cap Friendly. Two big injuries at the moment, that being Kevin Fiala and Gabriel Velarde. So we'll see, of course, IRL if they are back, and if they are, well then, Kings fans, yeah, maybe I screwed your team out of being able to actually do something in this simulation on a video game. Minnesota, here's hoping. Here's hoping the Wild finally do something. Poor Jacob Middleton. He'll finally actually have a higher overall, as he should. Philip Gustafson, I was going to say Montreal. Minnesota, that is, should be set up very, very well in terms of goaltending. I'm used to just going team by team. We got the trifecta here. Of course, the New York Islanders, Bo Horvat making the playoffs, crapping on Vancouver as he did it. I'm sorry. If anybody actually got mad about that, about Bo Horvat, just, we're in the playoffs, essentially, like, come on, lighten up. That is hardly unfair to say compared to what Canucks fans have said about their own team and what I saw Canucks fans saying about Bo Horvat, and just, oh, well, shit, I didn't want to get rid of him, but thank God, get him the hell out of here. He's too good for this tire fire. Like, 100% saw that sentiment when that trade went down, and I don't know, now for some people to get mad at him, it's kind of weird. Story of the year, maybe, the New Jersey Devils. My goodness, they could go pretty far in this simulation, especially, of course, Vitek Vanacek, and who knows, IRL, if Luke Hughes ends up in that lineup. I kind of hope he does, really. The Seattle Kraken, very, very interesting team. Again, they, to make the playoffs in their second year, couldn't quite do it in the first, like Vegas. You can find some negatives about this team. These goaltenders are probably both going to be further demoted now that they have a full season under their belts. And, of course, Andrei Burakovsky, big injury for them. You get to Tampa and Toronto. Of course, this is what the Lightning are looking like. And really, I mean, outside of maybe some defensive questions and an injury to Tanner Jeannot, the biggest question for them is just really a generalized fatigue. And will they have the energy to make another run? Time will tell, especially against this Toronto team that should be oh so hungry. I mean, if this isn't the year, and we've been saying that for 4 now, if this isn't the year for the Leafs, will that year ever be there? That is the big question, man. They have so much depth as well that they could end up playing. It's pretty ridiculous. Vegas Golden Knights winning the Pacific Division despite not having an elite goal scorer or elite point producer, but Mark Stone's expected to be back. Is he truly 100% healthy? Of course, did they kind of play the game a little bit in terms of keeping him out for a little bit longer just to be cap compliant, even though he's ready to go? I'm intrigued to see the answer to that question. And then the Winnipeg Jets, who again did their damnedest to miss out on the playoffs, but they made it. And man, anytime you have Connor Hellebuck in a situation like that, it's tough to bet against them. So with that, everybody, it is time to go series by series, game by game, to determine who is going to win the 2023 Stanley Cup. And we kick it off Seattle and Colorado, game number 1, and a strong start for the Avs. Nathan MacKinnon against Martin Jones. Now, I will say the lines may get shuffled. Lower-rated goalies might end up being the starter. I'm sure for Florida, we'll see Bobrovsky. Not much I can do there. What I did end up doing, though, after showing you guys the lines, was sending certain players down. So Carolina won't get best lines and have Svechnikov be back in. But yeah, Martin Jones being the starter isn't necessarily surprising. Yanni Gourde ties the game, and Cale Makar and Mikko Rantanen show up. Man, if Cale Makar is healthy, a 4-3 victory for Colorado in game number 1, and the Stars show up for the defending champions. We go to Winnipeg and Vegas, kicking off their series. Blake Wheeler gets that opening goal. You got Mark Stone tying it up, and in case in point, Jonathan Quick was in for the Golden Knights. And what a start for Vegas. Riley Smith and Nick Waugh, a 3-1 victory for the higher seed, and what a performance there. Playoff Jonathan Quick, still a thing, according to this video game, as we get Florida and Boston. Matthew Tkachuk starts the scoring. Hathaway ties it. They're sticking with it. Forbort and Eric Stahl. And Florida takes game 1. Carter Verhaeghe picking up where he left off in the regular season. Not a good sign that Garnet Hathaway was the first star for the Bruins. I love him, but yeah, that's a rough one. You got the Islanders and the Canes, their first game. Anders Lee starts it off. The Islanders doing very, very well in game 1 as the Hurricanes could not solve Ilya Sorokin. And I don't know if anyone would really be surprised to actually have that be the story of that particular series. Let's go Minnesota and Dallas. Scoreless 40 minutes, and Minnesota wins it. Middleton and Sam Steele getting it done. Jamie Benn scored, but it was too little too late, even with 10 minutes left, as the Wild take the lead in that one. And then we go back. It is the LA Kings and Edmonton Oilers. A matchup from last year's playoffs as well, if I'm not mistaken. Kempe and Evander Kane with the goals. Campbell's in for the Oilers. So far, it's working out as Edmonton gets a 3-1 win, 50 shots for the Oilers. I could see that happening. Could indeed see that happening for them. Tampa and Toronto kicks off their series. Another rematch from last year. 1-1 heading into the third with a Lightning takeover, and it's Steven Stamkos, the future Hall of Famer. Good first performance from Ilya Samsonov, but it did not matter ultimately. And our final series to kick off, Devils and Rangers. How awesome is this series going to be? Tyler Mott scores the first goal, of all people. Goal apiece there. And in the third, the Rangers run away with it. Lafreniere and Kreider, a 4-1 win for the lower seed. The Rangers start off that series on a high note. Let's go to game number 2, Colorado and Seattle. Can the Kraken battle back and get their first ever playoff victory? The answer, well, it will take overtime to find out the answer. It'll take double overtime to find out the answer. And Evan Rodriguez is the answer. Colorado has a 2-0 series lead on the debuting Seattle Kraken. The other most recent expansion team. Let's see what Vegas can do. They're up 1-0 in this series. Trailing 1-0 in this game thanks to Niederreiter. They come back to tie it and force overtime. The deadline pick up Barbashev, and they win it. Chandler Stevenson on the power play. And the Vegas Golden Knights have a 2-0 series lead. Jonathan Quick with another fantastic game. Florida looks to take a commanding lead on the Bruins. 1-0 Boston, though. Jake DeBrusk make it 2 with Trent Frederick. And that is it. A 27-save shutout for Linus Ullmark as the Bruins get the win in game number 1. Game number 2, I should say. Their first win of the series. Carolina and New York. Hurricanes looking to battle back. Strong start. Aho and Teravainen. On the other side, it's Aho and Burns. In the third, make it 5-1. Nason gets a goal. Engvall ruins the shutout, but a much better performance for the Carolina Hurricanes in game number 2. We have ourselves a series. Let's go with Minnesota and Dallas, of course. Minnesota looking to take that series lead. You got Domi, or 2-0 series lead, that is. Domi and Hartman with the goals. Minnesota starting to pull away. Kaprizov and Nyquist. And indeed, they get the victory. 4-2, the final score. So game 2 victory there. Another strong performance from the veteran Marc-Andre Fleury. Oilers looking to take that 2-0 lead. Let's see if they can do it on home ice. Draisaitl scores the opening goal. Draisaitl scores again. And yeah, Connor McDavid, Brett Kulak sealed the deal. Drew Doughty, the lone goal for the Kings. Another dominant shot. Balance there for the Oilers. What was it, 37-18, I believe it was? Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic for Edmonton. Tampa and Toronto. See what they can do. 2 goals apiece, trading them. Really kind of bookended by the Lightning goals. Tampa takes the lead, Brandon Hagel, and Tampa wins 3-2. Pretty straightforward as the Lightning heading to Toronto and take a 2-0 series lead back home to Amalie Arena. Rangers Devils. Let's see what happens here. Rangers have that series lead. Up 2-0. Tyler Mott. Lafreniere. Goal apiece. And in the third, a lot of goals, but too many of them in favor of the Rangers. A 6-3 victory. And unfortunately, that defense and the goaltending not quite holding up for the New Jersey Devils early on in that series. We have Colorado and Seattle. Another strong start for the Avs, but the Kraken battle back. Natural hat trick. Jared McCann, 3 in a row in the same period. Good Lord. And Rantanen, though, wins it in the third. Poor Seattle. Played their hearts out in game number 3. Jared McCann tried his best, but the Avs are dominating. And speaking of the Winnipeg Jets, the Seattle Kraken looking like the Jets in their first ever playoff series since at least returning, or the relocation from Atlanta. As Mark Scheifele gets the opening goal, the Jets need a win here. DeMello and Wheeler. And they will get the win. Good game from Mark Scheifele. 4-2 victory. Connor Hellebuck, 27 saves as well. 3 key pieces for the Jets. Getting it done. Boston and Florida. Anton Lundell scores the opening goal. Sam Reinhart as Bertuzzi gets one for Boston. Florida wins it. Convincing fashion. 4-1. The final score. Sergei Bobrovsky playing like the Bobrovsky of old. The Panthers have a lead as a result. Crucial game 3 here. Canes and Islanders. Goalless first. 2 goals in the second for the Islanders. And they win it. Natchez scores too little too late. The Islanders take a 2-1 series lead. Good game for Pierre the Hair Engvall. If people don't call him that, why the hell not? The guy has tremendous hair. Minnesota looking to take a 3-0 series lead. They're up 1-0 here. Zuccarello. Goal apiece. Hartman and Ben. Third period. Dallas. Big bounce back. The defenders, Esa Lindell and Colin Miller, help them get the victory that they so desperately needed. What a performance there for Ottinger as well. It's Edmonton trying to really put the stranglehold on the Kings. It's been a dominant series so far for the Oilers. 5-goal second period. Welcome Connor McDavid to the series. And the Edmonton Oilers indeed get it done. High scoring, but the Oilers offense able to outlast and thrive. What a performance for Darnell Nurse. With the 2 goals, he was the first star of the game. Are the Leafs going to be in a whole lot of trouble at the end of this one? They're up 2-0 after 2, and that was enough. Ilya Samsonov, 26 save shutout. A victory for the Leafs. They're back in the series. And the Devils looking to work their way back in as well. Rangers up 1 to Tyler Mott. Jesus. Hedel, Lindgren, it's 3-1 third period, and the Devils get the comeback victory. Damon Severson wins it with 22 seconds to go, and the Devils have life against the New York Rangers. So there we go. Only 2 3-0 splits, and we get to the first one here. Colorado, the defending champions, looking to complete the sweep of the Seattle Kraken, who are looking for the first victory, playoff victory in franchise history, and they get it, 5-2. The Kraken aren't done yet. There will be no sweep as Martin Jones really shuts the door for the most part. Let's go Vegas, Winnipeg. Golden Knights up 2-1. Second period, still scoreless. Third period, Vegas wins it. 31 seconds to go. A goaltending duel, but finally the Golden Knights find their breakthrough. Alex Pietrangelo helps them win that game, and obviously the goaltending did as well. Florida up 2-1. See how it goes. Boston scores, shorty from McAvoy. A lot of goals in that third period, but the Bruins hold on and win 3-2. A great effort from David Pastrnak in that third period. He gets first star of the game. So 2-2 split there. Islanders have the lead on the Hurricanes. It's going to happen. 2-0 for New York. Carolina scores 2. Drury and Burns, and in overtime, nothing. In double overtime, the Islanders win it. The Hurricanes, heartbreak for them to battle back, force the overtime, but not be able to solve Sorokin that one extra time that they needed to. Their backs are against the wall. Minnesota and Dallas. Wild have the lead. 1-1, the end of the first. 2-1 for the Stars. 3-2 victory for Dallas. It's Joe Pavelski. We've seen some late winners as of late in the final 2 minutes. Great game for the veteran Joe Pavelski and the Dallas Stars. Even that series up. Now we get to this. Can the Oilers complete what would be the only sweep of round number 1? So Vinny Desharnais gets a goal. My goodness. Still the only goal so far. Kings tie it. Trevor Moore forces overtime, and the Kings get the win. Zach McEwen, of all people, wins it for the LA Kings. How happy must he be to have gotten the hell out of Philadelphia? The Kings stave off the sweep. There will be no sweeps in round number 1. You heard it here first. The Lightning look to get that third win of this series. What a strong start. I mean, Stamkos scores first. 4 straight goals for the Leafs. Make it 5-2 at the end of 2. Third period, Toronto gets a big win in Tampa. I believe that series, home team yet to win, as we so often see. The Leafs tie that one up in our final 4th game. It's Devils Rangers 2-2 at the end of the first. 3-3 at the end of the second. 6-4. The streak finally ended, and the Rangers get a 6-4 victory. Tremendous game for the likes of Mika Zibanejad, and it's a 3-1 lead for the Rangers. We head to the 5th games of each series. Colorado, another chance to eliminate Seattle. Can they do it? Von Taves gets the opening goal. Still 1-0. And indeed, that will do it. The Devon Taves show sends Seattle packing. They do get their first ever playoff win, but the defending champions move on to round number 2 as Vegas looks to punch their ticket there as well. Shea Theodore, the opening goal. Winnipeg ties it. We're going to overtime, and Winnipeg wins it. Kyle Connor shows up when his team needed him, as did Connor Hellebuck. And the Winnipeg Jets, not done yet. Big time game 5 here. Bruins and Panthers. Great start for Boston. Second period, score holds. Third period, oh my goodness. And by the end, just a rout. 5-0 Boston, a 37-save shutout for Linus Hallmark. And the Bruins are 1 win away from round number 2, as are the Islanders. Can they get it done? Can they pull off the upset of Carolina? Matt Martin scores. Oh my goodness. 2 goals for J.G. Pageau on the power play. Jarvis gets one back. The New York Islanders felled. Fell? They felled. They felled the Carolina Hurricanes like a tree. Like a tree in the middle of a storm. It is so late when I'm recording this. I'll be honest. The New York Islanders move on, upsetting Carolina in 5 games. Good for them, and something I think that could happen in real life. Strong start for Minnesota here in game number 5. Dallas able to tie it, but Minnesota pulls away in the third period, 6-2. The final score, as some of the key players showing up for the Wild, to say the least. They take the 3-2 series lead as Edmonton looks to eliminate Los Angeles. Kings might have a different idea, though. See, the Kings definitely have a different idea, and the LA Kings stave off elimination. 3-1 your final score. Great game for Jonas Korpisalo. Great game for Jonas Korpisalo. Game 5, 2-2 series split between the Leafs and the Lightning. 1-0 Tampa. Second period, still 1-0. Third period, the Tampa Bay Lightning 1 win away from knocking out Toronto in round number 1. It'd be so devastating for them, wouldn't it? My goodness. Can the Rangers eliminate the Devils? Let's find out. A 3-1 series lead, scoreless through 40, and indeed, the Rangers get it done. Hughes started off the scoring, but the Devils couldn't hold it. Despite a great effort from Vitek Vanacek, the New York Rangers move on to round number 2 as we await to see if Winnipeg can force game 7. They're up 1-0 after 1. 2-0 after 2. The Winnipeg Jets not going down without a fight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Great performance from Connor Hellebuck. And there will be our first game 7 confirmed. We go to the Bruins and the Panthers. Can the Panthers force game 7? Boston up 1 after 20 minutes. 4-4 after 40 minutes. A wild second period, to say the least. And in the third, goal apiece. We are going to overtime. Bruins score. They win. Florida scores. It's game 7. Double overtime, and the Florida Panthers force game 7. Carter Verhaeghe gets it done. And a huge turn of events there. So we'll see if Dallas can force game 7, or will the Wild move on. Strong start for the Stars with Max Domi. Another wild second period, including a Ryan Reeves goal. And in the third, Dallas gets the win. What a performance for Wyatt Johnston. 2 goals on the night. And the Dallas Stars force game 7. Can the Kings do it as well? Or will the Oilers move on? They're up 1-0 after 1. Shorty from Fogle. Still 1-0. LA forces overtime. Man, we have loved our overtimes here. And in that overtime, the Oilers, through Kyler Yamamoto's goal, punch their ticket to round number 2. A great fight for the LA Kings, but Edmonton wins the series that they should. The Lightning look to finish off Toronto. Bunting, Shorty, 1-0. 3-3. Steven Stamkos goes off. In the third, the Lightning eliminate the Leafs in 6 games. The sound you are hearing is one collective depressing sigh from the GTA. Game 7, Jets and Golden Knights. Who's going on to round number 2? Second period, it's 1-1. Marchessault, Scheifele. Third period, the Winnipeg Jets go off and eliminate the Vegas Golden Knights in round number 1. Connor Hellebuck and company getting it done for the Jets. One more Eastern Conference series to be decided. It's the Boston Bruins and their legendary season on the line against the Panthers. Up 2-1 after 1. Up 4-2 after 2. And the Boston Bruins survive the scare and eliminate the Florida Panthers in Game 7. All I can imagine is that scenario in real life, and it's easy to imagine, and yeah, it's pretty scary. Our final series to conclude, Minnesota and Dallas, who moves on to round number 2. Hot start in this game, to say the least. Second period, it's 4-4. Third period, 6-6. Heading into overtime, the Donoff may have saved Dallas' season with 32 seconds left. In overtime, Dallas wins it. Max Domi, oh my God. Freaking sunk the Bruins last year against Carolina. Max Domi, the clutch factor is real, and the Dallas Stars eliminate the Minnesota Wild. And that is wild. We go to round number 2. It is Colorado, Dallas, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Boston, Tampa, and a battle for New York. Let's quickly... Actually, you know, we'll do it at the very end. We'll go through all the team stats to see how they did. So let's jump right into it. Dallas and Colorado. The Avs have been waiting a little bit. And a strong start for them in this game. 3-1 after 2 and a 4-2 victory in game number 1 for the Colorado Avalanche. Georgiev does a tremendous job as the top 2 forwards get it done for the Avs. Canadian duel here. Winnipeg, good start. Winnipeg, great start. Edmonton tried to battle back. Connor McDavid, that doesn't sum it up perfectly. Can't put the team on his back. It's just too much weight for one player to carry. In the NHL, it is too much of a team game. Jets take game 1. Oh boy, Boston and Tampa haven't gotten enough of this in the past 10 years. Strong start for the Lightning, my goodness, and they win game 1, 5-1. The defending champions, a statement victory in that first game. Islanders and Rangers both won their opening round series in 5 games. Strong start for the Isles. Rangers too late to battle back. They didn't have that Tyler Mott magic. Ilya Sorokin stops 30. It's crazy to see Sorokin and Shesterkin in here. I mean, you know, it was talked about for so long. Those two and Ilya Samsonov, you know, kind of the Russian 3 in terms of elite goaltenders. And, I mean, hey, all 3 are in the playoffs this year. Colorado up 2-0. Make it 3-1. And poor Dallas, they have run into a buzzsaw in the defending world champions. The Avs are playing some tremendous hockey, even without their captain. We have Winnipeg and Edmonton. Vander Kane, the opening goal, 2-2 after the second. We're going to overtime, in which the Oilers win it. Vander Kane, tremendous performance from him, and the Oilers tie up their series with the Jets. Lightning Bruins. 1-0 for Tampa. They already have a 1-0 series lead. The Bruins battle back. Third period. The Bruins win it. A hat trick for Patrice Bergeron. And the Bruins tie up the series at 1 apiece. We got the Rangers and Islanders. Strong start for the Rangers. Isles trying to battle back, and they do. We go to overtime, and the New York Islanders, Samuel Bolduc, is the hero as the Islanders come back to take game 2 and a 2-0 series lead. Colorado looking to take that commanding 3-0 series lead. Dallas playing well. It doesn't hold. Lehkonen forces overtime, and Nichushkin wins it. Colorado up 3-0 on the Dallas Stars. Wow. Edmonton-Winnipeg, game number 3. 1-0 lead for the Jets. 3-2 for the Jets. They blew a lead but got it back. And the Winnipeg Jets, Kyle Connor, is a freak of nature. The Jets get the job done, and we've seen these 3 pop up so many times now in these Jets victories in the postseason. We go back to Boston and Tampa. Good start for the Bruins. They hold the lead, and they win it. Strong third period. And a 5-2 victory for Boston, bouncing back from a very rough game number 1 against Tampa. Could you believe it? The Islanders went away from a 3-0 series lead. Strong start for the Rangers with a Kreider goal. Islanders battle back. Third period, the New York Islanders have a 3-0 series lead on the New York Rangers. Certainly not something I would have expected, but here we are. Colorado looking to make it back to the Western Conference Final. Dallas has to take it one game at a time, and they do. A Game 4 victory, 2-0. The final score, Dallas avoids the sweep, 32 saves for Ottinger. Winnipeg wants that 3-1 series lead. Can they get it? 1-1 after 1. 2-1 Edmonton. And Edmonton ties the series up. Leon Draisaitl's goal holds up as the winner. And of course, it would be Draisaitl and McDavid leading the way. Will we have another 2-2 split, or will Boston take a 3-1 lead? Back in Tampa. 2-1, and the Bruins win it. 3-1 the final, 3 straight wins for the record setters. 1 win away from the Eastern Conference Finals, where it could be them and the New York Islanders. Can the Rangers stave off elimination? No, they cannot. Zach Parise scores the series-clinching goal, and look at that. 44 shots to 16. I swear to God, the Islanders are going to do that to at least Carolina. There's just something about them where I'm so glad, even if the Bruins lose to the Panthers, that they're not playing the Islanders. There's just something about that team where I feel like that exact thing could happen in real life. Colorado looks to end this series. They have a chance as we go to the third, and they do. Alex Newhook seals the deal. The defending champions move on to the Final Four. Will it be Winnipeg or Edmonton? It's Game 5 and a 2-2 split. Connor McDavid continuing to score at a more consistent rate. Oh my goodness, does he ever. A hat trick for McDavid, a third period comeback for the Oilers. Puts the Jets on the ropes. That's a bad collapse. Boston looking to eliminate Tampa. Looking to do it by winning 4 straight games as well. The Lightning show signs of life, but it does not matter. Garnet Hathaway's goal sees the Bruins move on to the conference final. That leaves one series. Can Edmonton eliminate Winnipeg and set up a date with destiny against Colorado? Will the Jets force Game 7? The answer is Game 7. Impressive performance for the Jets and a 4-1 victory as Winnipeg stays alive, and it comes down to this: which Canadian team will be the last Canadian team standing? Scoreless first. 2-1 in the second. The Winnipeg Jets come back in the third and win Game 7. The Oilers choke and fall in round number 2. Avs and Jets, Bruins and Islanders. Damn. Here we go. Here we go. Strong start for Winnipeg in game one, at least in terms of bouncing back. Oh my goodness. The Winnipeg Jets 8-2 in game one over the defending champions. Insanity. Islanders 8-1 in this postseason. I said IRL, it would be a trap series if the Bruins ran into them instead of Florida. Oh my God, there it is, 3-3. And the Islanders win it in overtime. Anders Lee. Whew. Scary, scary stuff. Winnipeg, can they do it again in game number 2? Decent little start. 3-3 at the end of the second period. We go to overtime. The Winnipeg Jets win both games on the road to start the series. Ehlers and Connor are insane. Game 2, Islanders-Bruins. 1-1 after 20. 2-2 after 40. 5-3 at the end of regulation. The Bruins battle back. Tie the series up at 1. Shout out to Pavel Zacha. Can the Jets do the near impossible as the 8th seed? Can they push Colorado to the brink? 2-2 after the second period. 3-3 at the end of the third. And Colorado has life. JT Compher, 59 seconds in. What a performance there from Cale Makar. We go to game 3, Bruins and Islanders. First period, goalless. Second period, goalless. Third period, goalless. Overtime, goalless. Double overtime. The Islanders win it. J.G. Pageau. Oh my God. Are the New York Islanders going to do this? The Jets and Islanders in the driver's seats right now. Game 4, goalless first period. 2-0 in the second. 3-0 shutout victory for Connor Hellebuck and the Winnipeg Jets. They are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup Final. So we get to the Islanders and the Bruins. Second period now, 2-1 New York. The Bruins go off in the third. Dmitry Orlov is the hero who wins it 45 shots to 19. That is the power of Ilya Sorokin. As that series now tied at 2, are the Jets going to eliminate the champions? Goalless first. 2 goals in the second, 1 apiece. Colorado survives. Cale Makar scores the winning goal. Great performance for Georgiev. And the Avs still alive. Game 5. Bruins have a 1-0 lead. Still, third period, the Bruins win it. Great effort from Linus Ullmark. 22 save shutout. And the Bruins and Jets in the driver's seat here. Can Winnipeg end the series? Goalless first. 2-1 after 2. The Winnipeg Jets, the 8th seed, are going to the Stanley Cup Final as Colorado will fall short in an effort to defend their title. Will the Bruins join the Jets in the final? 1-1 after 1. 3-3 after 2. Going to overtime. The winner will be decided in double overtime, and it's the Boston Bruins. Charlie Coyle is the hero, and another marathon classic between these two teams, but it does set up a highly unlikely Stanley Cup Final. Winnipeg versus Boston, the Kyle Connor series. Will the 2015 draft come back to haunt the Boston Bruins and Don Sweeney one more time? If we go off of game 1, the answer is no. A 4-0 victory for Boston and another shutout for Ullmark, but 3 more wins. That's a long way to go. Game number 2, Jets strike first. Jets strike again. The Jets shut out the Bruins in response and take game 2, a 53-save shutout for Connor Hellebuyck as the Stanley Cup Final heads to Winnipeg. 2-1 for the Jets. 3-1 for the Jets. 3-2 final. The Winnipeg Jets now up 2-1 in the Cup Final. My goodness. We go to game number 4. Goalless first period. 4-0 in the second for the Bruins. 5-3 the final. Brad Marchand's empty net goal seals the deal. The Bruins survive a scare, and Hellebuyck was pulled in that game. Old Big Save Dave stepped in, did a decent job, but too little too late. It's a best of 3 from this point on in the Cup Final. Boston up 2-0. Now up 4-2. And the Bruins are 1 win away from the Stanley Cup. As we go to game number 6. First period, 2-0 Winnipeg. Second period, 4-2 Jets. Will slow sim it just in case there is a cup to be won. Although, God help me if this goes to overtime. Connor makes it 5-2. That should do it, and it does. 6-3 the final score. We are going to game 7. Boston against a Canadian team. This time, it's Winnipeg. My goodness. Who will win the cup? Game 7 in Boston. What's the worst that could happen? First period, 1-0, Patrice Bergeron. Second period, 2-0, David Pastrnak. 20 minutes to go in the regulation. In regulation, here we go. The season in the balance. Might it go to overtime? It doesn't look like it. 5 minutes to go. Scheifele ties it. 52 seconds left. You know that we have to watch it. I do technically. No, there we go. Look at computer versus computer. That's all well and good. You know that we have to watch it at this stage. 52 seconds left. Is there a cup raising to be had at TD Garden, this time with the Bruins being the ones to raise the cup? They've been on the opposite end of it twice now, thanks to Chicago and St. Louis. As Morgan Barron in control, can't get that puck on. Jets pull the goaltender. What can they do? Allmark has to cover that one. The cup is here. And skip this cutscene because it was computer versus computer. The cup is here. David Pastrnak, the playoff leader in goals. Face off. Scheifele nearly came away with it. Orlov, 35 seconds left. Fed up ahead for Jake DeBrusk. DeBrusk misses the empty net. Dylan DeMello able to recover. 25 to go. DeMello intercepted. Brad Marchand misses the net. 19 seconds. Dylan DeMello gets it to Dubois. Turned over. Fight for it. Dubois has it again. Takes the hit. Gets the puck back, though. 8 seconds left. Here's Kyle Connor. Scrum in the corner. Loose puck to Bergeron. The Boston Bruins seal the deal and become the greatest team in the history of the NHL. The greatest regular season of all time. And they cap it off with a cup win. Undisputed. Boy, I'm going to be accused of scripting this video, aren't I? I very much am. The Boston Bruins get it done. David Pastrnak named as the Conn Smythe winner. And the Bruins finally win a cup on home ice. You'll love to see it. Crazy, crazy run for them. I am excited to kind of see what the stats look like by the end of it. As Patrice Bergeron raises the Stanley Cup and hopefully retires and rides off into the sunset. Patrice Bergeron raising the cup as the captain of the Bruins. That is what dreams are made of for Bruins fans. My goodness. My goodness, my goodness. Do I still get to choose? Oh, I do. Oh, no, the AI is choosing for me. This is totally AI. I'm not even hitting anything. Please give it to Connor Clifton. It goes to Garnet Hathaway. As opposed to, like, David Krejci or Linus Ullmark. It goes to Garnet Hathaway. Oh, that's fantastic. Of all players, Garnet Hathaway. Oh, man. That's tremendous. Who's it going to give it to next? Let's go Connor Clifton. Let's go Connor Clifton. Please? Please? Oh, I thought. It goes Brad Marchand. Let's be honest, there's a very good chance Bergeron would hand it directly to Marchand. Given their tenure together in this organization. What dreams are made of. What dreams are made of. Give it to Krejci, please. Please, God, give it to David Krejci or David Pastrnak. Taylor Hall would be nice, too. All right, good. That's a fair handoff. David Krejci. I mean, insane for David Krejci. Given the, given the circumstances. Given the circumstances. The Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup in 2023. Much to the dismay of numerous people, I am sure. Their names etched onto the cup, some of them for the second time. And again, if this were to happen in real life, it would really secure them as the greatest team of all time. You know, again, the 76-77 Habs, they are still that team. They very much are. Unless the Bruins get it done and win the cup. But in this run, they do. And they did. Let's take a look at the final numbers. We know that Pastrnak was named Conn Smythe winner. Let's get a look at those final stats for all of these teams. Kyle Connor led the entire postseason in points. But let's go for the Boston Bruins, and I mean, I'll let you guys look at your own leisure here, but yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Actually, let's just go by forwards and defense. Garnet Hathaway gets it second. He had 6 points. No kidding, though. It was David Pastrnak. Allmark with a 920. Carolina, Freddie Anderson. Yeah, they only won that one game, and Anderson didn't really help his cause. It was an early exit for the Hurricanes, and yeah, offensively, they struggled, which, I mean, again, given the fact that they don't have Andrei Svechnikov, and of course have been without Pacioretty for so long, it's not out of the realm of possibility that could happen. Colorado had a great run back to the Western Conference Finals, but, you know, their depth does get tested just a little bit. Cale Makar, though, was incredibly solid, as was Georgiev. Dallas, not the team defense and goaltending that they needed. You expect the goaltending to be great, but I could certainly see a reality where a team defense simply is not up to snuff. No points for Joel Kiviranta. You hate to see it. Edmonton, McDavid, Draisaitl, both are a point per game. And then, yeah, as you kind of suspected, no depth scoring for them. I wouldn't expect Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to get shut out to that extent, but Hey, you never know. Oof, Vinny Desharnais puts up more points than Cody Ceci. And shout out to Jack Campbell, who was actually fantastic. So good for him. Florida Panthers, maybe they should go with Alex Lyon, like they might. IRL. Brandon Montour with just 2 points. And yeah, I mean, in that first round, I mean, losing to Boston, it's a little bit tough. LA Kings, I mean, yeah, that would be rough to have that many top players just kind of not appear. And then again, the injuries to guys like Kevin Fiala certainly affecting them. You know, it's Corpusalo a 924, but it was not enough to get out of the first round. Fleury couldn't quite get it done for Minnesota. Shout out to Brock Faber, who was in there, though. Zuccarello, Kaprizov, Hartman, an amazing line, but yeah, their depth failed them. Their defense and goaltending failed them. New Jersey, that was the shock, really, of this entire run, falling in 5 games to the Rangers. The third line looks like it got ripped apart. And then defensively, goaltending-wise for Vanacek, yikes, he turned back into a pumpkin at the worst time. There's Ilya Sorokin. He is insane. Absolutely insane. Matt Barzal was their leading scorer at that point. What do we got for the New York Rangers? No goals for Patrick Kane. Love to see it. Oof, Tarasenko, Trocheck. They did absolutely nothing. Shesterkin with just a 900 save percentage. Typical high-rated goalie in an EA sim. Martin Jones had a 907. So there you go. Oof, no points. I mean, really for the defenders through those 5 games. Jared McCann tried his best. He scored 3 of those 4 goals in the same game. Then you had Tampa. I mean, Stamkos, Point, Kucherov. It's an absolutely absurd line. Really, really is. Hedman tried his best. Yeah, Perbix, Radish in there. It's a little bit concerning. With the Leafs, Samsonov had a 916, but it still wasn't enough to get out of the first round. And yeah, I mean, scoring-wise, I mean, not bad, but only so much they could do. Vegas, I mean, Barbashev was their leader, but they still fell in 7. Poor Phil Kessel. Had absolutely nothing going for him. And a 926 for Jonathan Quick still wasn't enough. And then Winnipeg, who went all the way to the Stanley Cup Final, but just fell short. And I mean, yeah, the offensive studs that they have in terms of point production, at the end of the day, just a little bit extra, a little bit more from their depth would have gotten it done. The Boston Bruins win the Stanley Cup in 7 games over the Winnipeg Jets. Check out the video I posted yesterday in regards to my personal predictions. And of course, let me know who you think is going to win the Stanley Cup this year down in the comments below. I thank you for tuning into this annual occasion, and I will see you guys, well, very, very soon.